Hey, 5th and 6th grade leaders, just let me give you a couple of dates before we get started. Coming up is September 15th. We're having an all-out volunteer banquet just to say thank you for serving and giving of your energy on Sunday mornings. We know it takes a lot of people to pull off a Sunday morning. We just want to say thank you. We will also have childcare, so be looking for a link to register you and your family for the meal as well as childcare. Also, on September 17th, we are going to have a children's and preschool meeting. Pastor Jackie's going to be coming and talking to us. It's immediately following second service, so we will have childcare again for everyone as well as a meal. So be looking for the registration information for that so that we make sure we get enough food ordered and we have enough people for childcare. All right, this Sunday we're continuing the big idea of respect. Respect is showing someone that they are important by what you say and do. We're going to dive into 1 Samuel chapter 24 where we see that David spares Saul. Our weekend bottom line this Sunday is you respect God when you respect the people he's put in charge. We're going to talk all about leaders and leadership and people that are put in charge of us. There's an icebreaker question as your 5th and 6th graders come in. I'm going to have donuts and some stuff available for them. I'm going to try and set out for each service a certain amount of donuts so we don't go all through them in the first service. So we'll have some of that for them as they come in this week. Also, after that, after your icebreaker questions, you're going to come to large group. We're going to go over our welcome rules, offering. I'm going to introduce the lesson for the week, and then we'll do worship. And then you guys are going to go back to your class this week for your separate lesson. The story is actually done by volunteers and bringing them up, and I think it'll just hit home a little bit more for them. It talks about having leaders put in charge of you that may make mistakes, and we still need to honor them and we still need to respect them. So that's a tough circumstance for our 5th and 6th graders sometimes, because that's when the time they start to rebel. All right, so activity 1 is called Take a Snapshot. I'm going to try and put some slides on the laptop in there just to have some countdowns for you to keep you on track. Take a Snapshot should take about 5 minutes. The kids are going to be given out blank pieces of paper. They're going to tear the paper into an L. What you're going to do is give the kids just 2 minutes to list as many leaders as possible that are in their life. So this could be a music leader, a football coach, a baseball coach, soccer coach, librarian, teacher, principal, everybody that's considered a leader in their life or leading them, parents as well. So have them list as many as they can. Then you're going to have them stand up and see how many kids listed the most leaders, and you want to try to get down to declare the one person that had more leaders in their life than anyone else, and we'll have some candy for you to give them. Then the second activity is called Dive Deeper Discussions. I want you to spend just about 8 to 9 minutes on your discussions. Try not to spend too much time. It kind of keeps you focused on the questions that are asked. And then you will follow up with an activity 3 that's called Verses to Take With You. You can do these in separate groups if you wish. There's today's key verse is called from 2 Timothy verse 1, chapter 1, verse 7. It says, God gave us his Spirit, and the Spirit doesn't make us weak and fearful. Instead, the Spirit gives us power and love. He helps us control ourselves. And how that verse applies to them, I think there's a great discussion for your 5th and 6th graders. Here's some conversation starters. It says, what do you think this verse has to do with today's Bible story? What do you think this verse means today in your own life? And it's really, I think, key in showing self-control, which is a hard thing for 5th and 6th graders. Then you will have prayer request notebook. I'm going to make sure I have 2 in there, so if you want to stay in your discussion groups, you can. Or I know that we're kind of short on leaders right now, so you may end up doing them as a whole, and you can just write those prayer requests in there so that each week leaders can follow up from the request the week before. All right, don't forget to arrive 30 minutes early for huddle up time, 8:30 for first service, and second service we need to meet around 10 o'clock so we can pray for each other and pray for the kids coming in. All right, see you in huddle up time on Sunday.